more defendants that want to say some things to you before we wrap up for the evening, so give it up for Joe.
Hello, I'm Joe, and I'm so proud to say that I am a member of the Stansted 15, and I'm so proud of my co-defendants and the solidarity that exists between us and all other humans. No human is illegal, and I literally couldn't have got through this trial without the love and support of my co-defendants. I'm so proud that we stood in solidarity on that night with vulnerable people who were in danger, and yet we're the ones charged with an offence of endangerment. We stood up for human rights of others, and yet we were denied the legal defence of necessity that would represent our own human rights. We stood tall for freedom, and yet we face the looming potential of our liberty being stripped from us. The hypocrisy of this situation is staggering. We've been convicted of endangering safety, but let's consider the danger that is enacted in this building, the danger that we were trying to prevent. It's illegal to be gay in Nigeria, and that is an offence that carries a sentence of 14 years imprisonment. There were people due to be deported on that flight who publicly identified as gay, so the Home Office were condemning those people to incarceration simply for being themselves. Now let's think about what the Home Office themselves say about the prison that they would be put into. These are the words of the Home Office, their own guidance. Prison conditions are so poor as to amount to a real risk of serious harm. A person who faces a real risk of imprisonment would be considered a breach of Article 3 of the European Convention of Human Rights. Many prisons have severe overcrowding, shortages of food and water, inadequate sanitary conditions, and an absence of or inadequate medical treatment. There is also reportedly high incidence of deaths in detention, as well as reports of torture, extrajudicial executions, and extortion. And extortion by guards. Around 70% of prisoners are awaiting trial, some of whom have spent long periods in detention. Inadequate medical treatment caused many prisoners to die from treatable illnesses such as HIV, AIDS, malaria and tuberculosis. Female inmates face the threat of rape. And that's what the Home Office says.
Shame!
So whilst we may face the prospect of imprisonment, we do not face that particular form of hell. So I'm so pleased that we did protect those people that we did on that night from facing that horrific situation. So whilst the charges that have been levelled at us represent a gross injustice, they sit within a broader injustice that is silently and secretly perpetrated by the Home Office every single day. If the Home Office obeyed their own rules, people like us would not have to break them. If the Home Office respected human rights, then we would not have to lay our liberty on the line to defend them. If the Home Office valued the sanctity of human life, we would not have to lay ourselves on the line to defend this. We took this action in solidarity. Together we stand here in solidarity. Solidarity forever. Fuck the Home Office.
Solidarity forever! Can the lockdowns make us strong?
Okay, we've got two more people that would like to speak to you before we wrap up for the evening. Please give it up for two more of the Stansted 15, Annie and Ben.
Wow. Can I just start by saying thank you? Thank you. No, thank you. Thank everyone who's been supporting us. It has been so amazing. Thank you for coming to our demos. Thank you for coming to court. Thank you for a big special shout out to the Quakers and the locals of Chelmsford for welcoming us into their homes. Thank you so much. All the support we've been getting has been incredible, and without it, the last 10 weeks would be so much worse. But I do want to mention the strain that we've been under. For 10 weeks, we've been sitting in a dock, mostly silent, sitting accused of a crime which is totally inappropriate for what we did. That strain has affected our mental health. It means we haven't been able to work. Some people might lose their jobs, and we've got uncertainty hanging over us for 10 whole weeks. Are we guilty? Are we going to jail? But I want to put that in perspective, because every single year, 30,000 people are put in detention centres. They can be held indefinitely.
Shame.
And there's a lot of amazing support that goes out for those people too, but there's extremely difficult circumstances for those people in detention centres. You can be placed in detention at any time. It could be in a dawn raid. It could be when you go to the Home Office to check in. You will be snatched from your community and locked up in a prison simply for having the wrong piece of paper. A judge has just convicted us, but it's not a judge who convicts it's not a judge who puts someone in detention. It's not even, no jury ever looks over it. It's just someone sitting at a desk in a building like this who is in a culture of targets and will be given a monkey of shame if he or she or they allow someone to stay in this country. That culture has to stop. Me. So I want to recognise that whilst we are under strain, the people on the front line of the hostile environment are under strain every single day, and it's those people who need to be centred in our campaigns and our struggles from here on out. So we have been convicted for endangerment, endangering life and safety of an operation at an aerodrome. Yesterday, the CPS said that our actions put ourselves and the whole airport at risk of injury and death. That is the opposite of what we did. We've heard from the testimonies that we knew of. Those are the people who are at risk of death and persecution. It is the Home Office and this whole system of the hostile environment that is putting people at risk of death. In the courts, we also heard about the disruption that was caused. We heard about a pilot who was placed in fear by us lying down on the tarmac and sitting there for 10 hours while we stopped that flight from taking off.
Shame!
Disruption to people's lives and being placed in fear is a daily reality if you are an undocumented migrant or if you're waiting for your claim to be processed. So yesterday we were convicted, but it's not over. We're going to keep fighting. Sentencing begins at sometime in the week beginning the 4th of February, and I really want you all to come down and show your support there, because that is amazing. We'll Whatever happens on the 4th, we're going to keep fighting for our case. We're going to appeal this, and we are going to win. So I really want to thank you again. Thank you so much for all this support. Thank you for the donations. Thank you for turning up. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But I want to mention one thing, and that is that we are a tiny part of this resistance. We are highly visible and we are really well supported. But I want to point out that so many other people are part of this. There are support groups around the country, from Glasgow, the Unity Centre, in Manchester, it's the All African Rainbow Family, and so many groups here who've spoken today. This movement is massive, and we are going to keep fighting to end deportations and end the hostile environment.
Yeah, I'm going to keep it really brief because I know that we're all freezing our bollocks off. Yesterday, when I came out of court after we'd been convicted, a guy came up to me and he was in an Amnesty t-shirt, and he said to me, he said, thank you. Thank you for everything you've done for the LGBT community. I was put in prison for being LGBT 40 years ago, maybe longer, maths isn't good. And then I got out on appeal, and it struck me, and I absolutely fucked it. I didn't know what to do, and I gave him a hug and walked off. And so I thought I'd do a bit of a rerun now. What I wanted to say to him was thank you from the bottom of my heart, because I think Owen said it earlier, we are all standing on the shoulders of giants, and my God, we, the 15, we are not the giants here. Not by a long shot. It's people that have been fighting this fight for decades without any of the support that we have, without any of the exposure that we've had, and without any of the hope that we have. People that have been slogging away outside of detention centres, inside of detention centres, going on hunger strike, organising and driving forward the movement. Those are the people, those are the giants, those are the heroes, and those are the people that we stand upon today. That's why we are here. And so, going forward, we will fight. We will continue to fight for us. We will continue to fight against the hostile environment, and we will continue to fight for the legacy of all of those people who have put their lives on the line to end it. We will be there. We will continue doing it. Thank you so much to every single one of you that has been here today, throughout this entire process, to all of my pals that have had to listen to me whinge on about it and brought me many, 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 many drinks. I'm fucking screaming. Thank you. Thank you so, so, so much. We will win.